Welcome to our first episode of Heal Your Lifestyle podcast, a podcast that asks, informs, encourages, and motivates people or listeners of all ages to be aware of health issues. Our guests are led by preventive health experts who have the knowledge and skill and experience in these topics. For our first episode, we will discuss the issue on cancer or the big C, and our guest is very qualified to answer our questions regarding this topic. Our guest is a medical doctor by profession and a preventive health specialist. She completed her Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery from Christian Medical College in Vellore, India. Her Master in Public Health and Doctor of Public Health major in Preventive Care from Loma Linda University, USA. She also completed certificate in molecular nutrition and genomics at the European Genomics Organization. She's a member of American College of Preventive Medicine, American College of Lifestyle Medicine, Malaysian Society of Allergy and Immunology, and Malaysian National Registry of Specialists as Public Health Specialist. She has vast experience as a medical practitioner, medical director, health educator, and as a preventive health specialist. Let us welcome Dr. Pang Chuyen. Hi, Dr. Pang.
Hi.
I'm so glad that you could find time to be with us today.
Sure.
It is our pleasure and our honor to be with you because I have known many medical doctors and I have not seen someone with a preventive medical health background as specialization. And I think you're the best person to talk to us about this cancer. So what is cancer? In our first question, let us tackle that. How would you describe it in layman's term?
Okay, firstly, cancer is not one disease.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually 100 plus diseases.
Mm-hmm.
But we use the term cancer as if it is one disease
Mm-hmm.
because you can have cancer in the eye, you can have cancer in your nose,
Mm-hmm.
you can have cancer just about every organ of your body.
Right.
And what happens is that your body cells grow uncontrollably, out of control, not following the command, not following the program, so to speak. And when they do that, they become a growth or a tumor, and then they invade other organs, and that's how it spreads. And,
Right.
and why does it do that? Something wrong with the immune system. The immune system, our immune system, is supposed to use all resources in the immune system. Whenever there's a cell growing out of control, it stops it.
Right.
But when something goes wrong, due to depression of the immune system, due to our food or our diet, then or obesity itself, overweight and obesity, the suppression of the control or the police are not working properly, and so the growth occurs.
Right. So you're talking about immune system. Is that one of the major factors that
Yes, that's how it starts.
that's how it starts?
Yes, when our immune system, that's why it used to be cancer was seen in older people
Right.
in 50s and 60s because that's when your immune system goes a bit down because as people retire, they don't, they're not that active. They don't exercise as much. They start gaining weight.
Right.
As Malaysian statistics show that quite a percentage of those above 55 gain weight and become overweight after their retirement. Yeah, so it's just the immune system. And it is still the immune system who is needed to fight this disease. But by the time, if it already grew to a point where it's a lump that you can feel, the immune system cannot fight it already.
Right.
You need additional help.
Oh, wow. That's a very different way of looking at it.
Yes.
You're talking about Malaysian statistics. So what is the statistics of in our Malaysian setting?
It is the number 2 cause of death in Malaysia, and it is now 1 in 3 in your lifetime. In other words, in your person's lifetime, there is 1 in 3 chance of getting cancer. And that's like
Wow.
very possible. It already moved from 1 in 4 to 1 in 3
Yeah.
in the years that I've been practicing
Yeah.
prevention. Yeah.
It's increasing. What is the number one cause? I mean, cancer among women and among males.
Okay, the number one cancer in female in Malaysia is breast cancer. Number one male cancer in male is lung cancer.
Lung cancer. And that is because I think a lot of Malaysians, adult Malaysians smokes.
Yes, a lot of Malaysian men smoke compared to women. But now it's not just smoke, it's you have vape, which unfortunately we don't have enough data.
Yeah.
You see, by the time we could link smoking to lung cancer, it was 1960s. And the Surgeon General report came out and, you know, it was already linked. And now, and therefore we had 1960 till now, we have a lot of data that is irrevocable, you cannot challenge it. The tobacco company tried to challenge it and all that with all their scientists and saying that it's maybe and all that, but enough court trials, enough evidence. But when it comes to vape, we just started more about 10 to 15 years ago. You don't have the data.
Correct.
And people think that they are fine because they are blowing the smoke out, they're having fun. But I don't think there is no, eventually we will have the data, but eventually it's a bit too late for many people.
That's very true. And new diseases are coming out now because of the vaping.
Yes, new diseases affecting the lung.
Yeah.
That is not yet cancer.
Correct.
But it burns the lungs and the chemicals because imagine you are just pouring some chemical inside a small device that you are inhaling and as if nothing will happen.
Correct.
I mean, that's just not possible.
So you're saying that the data now is showing that when you smoke, it is not already like maybe you will get the disease. Especially depending on how much you smoke and for how long.
Yes, and also your genetics.
Yeah.
I mean, I have people told me, oh, my father smoked till he was 90 and died at around 90s. Then I said he could have lived to 100. I mean, who is there to say?
Right.
Who is there to say what could have happened? And just because your father lived till 90, a smoker, you must remember, people who live to 90 now live through a period of time when their lifestyle is very different from a young person now.
Correct.
And you know, sleeping late. You know, those days there's hardly any light. You need a kerosene lamp. So by the time the sun sets, you have nothing much to do. There's no TV. There's no light. So you go to bed early. You wake up early. That kind of lifestyle. Add that to the cigarette. Doesn't mean that it's equivalent to this kind of lifestyle now, where you destroy the immune system with your not enough sleep. You weaken, not destroy, but weaken your immune system with not enough sleep. With eating processed food, which have already been shown to be linked with cancer, and all the other things that you do now, and then expect to have the same lifestyle of a person who lived till 90 with a cigarette.
Right. So that's why the next question is, some people get cancer, some people don't. What are really the risk factors, if you put it in detail, the risk factors of having cancer?
The risk factors is like any other chronic disease. It's the lifestyle and the genes and interaction and the environment. So it's interaction between the genes that you inherited from your parents, which you cannot change.
A way.
Okay. In a way. Okay, and I'll explain that. All right. Later why I say in a way. The genes that you inherited, the environment that you stay in, how polluted is the air, what legislation in the country or the environment that you stay in that will regulate the air quality. I mean, 30 years ago, Beijing was the worst polluted or the most polluted city in the world. But if you go to China today, you will hardly find pollution from the cars because they have moved most of their cars from petrol to electric.
Mm-hmm.
And they have restricted traffic. They've done a lot to the environment.
Mm-hmm.
So I still remember 10, 15 years ago, people staying in Beijing was telling me, we need to move out of our country because our children are dying from this bad air that we breathe, because you don't have a control over what you breathe unless the government does something. So the interaction with the environment, and the environment is far more just than the air you breathe. It is also the availability of places that you can do physical activity.
Right.
In a city so congested like Kuala Lumpur, where even if I want to walk from one point to another point in the Golden Triangle, for example, I find there is no pathway that I can walk. And that if I walk, I'm in danger of being knocked down.
Yes.
I mean, so how do you expect people to walk from one station to another station? And so they drive. And when they drive, they are caught in the jam. They are sitting down for another 1 to 2 hours. That increases the risk.
Right.
That increases their weight and increases the risk, because you are just sitting. It's just the most unproductive time. You could have used that to exercise, but the provision is not there. Children who live in flats or condos, where do you expect them to go to exercise? And with all this, the parents being like kidnappings, adoptions, and don't go out. So what do you expect to happen but just having overweight children who will grow up to overweight teenagers who will become overweight adults and have all these diseases?
Right. So it's really like an interrelationship of so many factors.
3 main factors: the environment, the genes, and the diet and the lifestyle. So the diet is in the lifestyle. Okay, I said the genes cannot be changed somewhat in the sense that you have already inherited it, but the genes can be manifested or not manifested. The genes can be turned on or not turned on. And that turning on is again an interaction between your lifestyle and the genes.
Right.
For example, if you have the genes that can make you gain weight easier, if you eat high-fat food, you have inherited that gene.
Right.
And then you feed yourself with high-fat food, that gene will just turn on and become more manifest. I mean, this is how you see why, hey, you have a friend who eats like nobody's business and he doesn't gain weight. And you eat just a little bit and you have to work so hard to maintain that weight.
Correct.
So that gene itself has an interaction with your lifestyle. And so that makes the whole paradigm of prevention have to turn 180 degrees, when all this while it is genes. You're already genes. It's in the genes. Your parents had cancer, so you're doomed and you're fated.
So you can make a choice to...
You can make a choice. And you probably have to work a bit harder than other people because of the genes that you inherited, but you don't go and switch on the ones that makes things worse.
Correct.
Yeah.
Turn it off. You need to turn it off.
I'm not so sure. We only know that you can turn it on.
I see.
Turn it off. I'm not so sure we are at that stage where we can say, this, we can turn off this, that we can turn off. That is just the propensity to cancer genes.
Wow.
At the level of cells itself, it depends on what is being exposed.
Right.
Yeah. And if the person is being exposed, sleeping late, taking a lot of high-fat food, processed food, it's an interaction again. It's not isolated risk factors. It's not like if I smoke, but I eat healthily and I sleep. It's not that way. It's an interaction of everything, as I described just now, getting trapped in the traffic, not exercising. It's that whole interaction that makes the picture of cancer so much more complicated than just high blood pressure.
That's true.
I mean, if you just have high blood pressure, take your medicine, sleep early, eat some more veggies, and that's it. And it works. It goes down and you know, you don't get the complication and all that. But here, it is so interactive, it is so many factors together that we keep getting a very mixed picture. You try to do a study on a lifestyle of sleep, on cancer, you get some good response, you don't get good response, and then you don't know why. Because lifestyle cannot be isolated like a drug.
Right.
You cannot just take medicine A and, hey, my blood pressure fall, therefore medicine A is effective. You cannot isolate a lifestyle study that way. It interacts.
So that means, as a person who is born from a family with a genetic predisposition to get cancer, it's very important to have that knowledge, and then able to control your own environment, able to control your lifestyle,
Make your choices.
make your choices
early in life.
early in life.
Yes, which means that actually the technology is available. We have genetic screening now, not for specific cancers, but looking at, for example, the gene's ability to produce antioxidant. And antioxidant and free radicals, if they are not balanced, if you produce a lot of free radicals because of your sleeping late and you're drinking not enough water, a whole lot of other things, and you don't have the gene that can make the antioxidant that well, then from that level itself, the thing starts.
Right.
Yeah. So we have what we call wellness gene profile, where we actually look at the person's ability to do all this basic stuff, biochemistry level, down to the cell level, before the disease comes. Of course, if you go for physical checkup every year, you find a marker, you say, oh, okay, I found the cancer earlier. But we can go backwards another 10 years or even earlier, you know, as long as, because genes don't change. So what we are doing is documenting 100 over genes, for example, that shows whether the person is able to absorb vitamin C as well as somebody else or not. Otherwise, you taking vitamin C supplement, it's just not working because you don't have the gene ability, the process ability to get it in. So you have to look at all these factors, and that's how medicine is now not just early detection, early treatment. It is actually going to the point where we are talking about precise, preventive, genetic information, you know, and that's what prevention has gone to at this level now.
Wow. It's very individualized.
Yes, it's individualized.
It's contextualized to the person.
Yes, to the gene profile that we have done, and it's once in a lifetime cost because your genes won't change. You can only change its response, but if you just cannot produce good enough antioxidant, then you will have to supplement that on antioxidant. And that is where you are not going to a pharmacy like a supermarket and just take a basket and just sweep everything that is on sale and buy that and or follow what your friends say, hey, this is good for you, good for you. And the patients have come with tons of supplement on my table. And I will ask them, for what purpose you're taking all these? And then they will say, my friend told me, my friend told me. They have no idea why they're doing it. And then they think that all supplements is equal because, hey, hello, the law does not regulate supplements.
Yes, correct.
And because of that, it is not equal. It is just because you bought 100 milligram of this vitamin C last month because it's on sale. And that's what most people do. They just go to the pharmacy to buy the supplements as if it is a supermarket. And they will buy all the common ones. That doesn't mean your body need it.
Correct. Because your body may react to it differently.
Yes, because of the genetic profile, which is so important.
Right. That's a very deep level of prevention, I would say. It's guided by science, and it's very, because everyone has a gene imprint. And as you say, we react according to that imprint that we have. But how does now lifestyle, I mean, the food, the sleeping, relate to this?
Okay, for example,
for prevention,
from the genetic profile, you find a person who actually cannot when they want to lose weight, they actually would respond better if you restrict the carbohydrate.
Right.
Yeah, and there are some people who don't have that option, meaning you can restrict the carbohydrate all you want. He's not going to lose the weight because that's how his body functions. And there are some people who has the profile that cannot burn fat well. So if you feed a lot of fat, take a lot of food with high fat, I mean, you are going to gain weight much faster than other people.
Right.
So that's how the lifestyle, the diet itself is even related. I mean, it's even with the profile, we can do all those things.
Wow.
It used to be before this genetic profiles availability, we used to do it by trial and error. We will say, okay, you want to lose weight? All right, restrict your food and exercise. And then you come back and it's like, this person is not losing the weight. Okay, it must be something with the diet. Let's look. And then we just try and error because we don't have the profile. But with the profile, it's so much easier.
Right.
But you have to have people who are competent to read the reports.
Correct.
Unfortunately, a lot of people are just taking the reports because all these companies know that there are not that many people who's competent to read the reports and interpret the reports. So when they give the test, they give a general instruction on lifestyle. And it defeats the whole purpose, what?
Yes.
I mean, if you want to give general response, then why in the world do a genetic profile? Because you don't have the person who knows how to interpret. He would then tell the same thing that he would have told without the profile. Okay, you're going to take this, you're going to take that, you eat this, you eat that, again, trial and error. And that is very unfortunate. It's happening in Malaysia today. Yes.
But as a person, the individual can see whether the lifestyle is working for him or her. And I think that holds very real for people. Like, for example, myself, I know that my body really responds positively to exercise. It's just that I really need to find time to exercise. But I know that when I exercise, I can really feel the difference. So I think each individual, if they, for example, cannot afford to do the genetic testing and everything, as I said, there's a really high level of prevention, and that is the gold standard.
But actually, it's not that unaffordable these days. Your blood test costs about 500 ringgit, for example, your annual. And this is maybe about 3-4 times the price, but it's once in a lifetime, and you have your whole lifetime to adjust it. I mean, you don't see blood tests, you have to repeat again and again. This one, there's no need to repeat. That's it. We just know how. You see, it's not so simple because it's not just like antioxidants, free radicals. I mean, the whole genes all interact.
Wow.
And from practice, I can see that the profile interacts, that a lot of people who don't have the gene for this also don't have the gene for that.
I see.
Yeah, but that is very interesting.
That's going to be very interesting. Yeah, indeed. So, what would be your advice to those who are watching us or listening to us in this podcast?
The number one preventable lifestyle factor besides smoking these days is overweight and obesity. Having a healthy weight. Because if you were to gain even 5 kilos in the next decade, you increase your risk of colon cancer by 9%.
Wow.
5 kilos only,
Wow.
Increase your risk of biliary duct cancer by 56%. And the breast cancer by 11%. Just 5 kilos gain in weight, which is very easy for most Malaysians to do because the environment of Malaysia is that 50% of the population is overweight and obese. And as such, you look at me, I look at you, you also a bit overweight. So it's so culturally acceptable that it is not an issue in people's mind. Of course, if you go to Vietnam and you stay in Vietnam, everybody would be staring at you because everybody is like underweight even, and you are overweight, you will feel the pressure to want to change.
Yeah.
In Malaysia, there is no motivation because everyone, 50% of the population is in certain population, like in females and above. So, retirement age is 60% of the population is overweight and obese. And that's for cancer. If you maintain healthy weight, you do a lot because it helps to improve the immune system. It helps to have better blood flow. You know, it's a whole lot of things. Yeah. So the one preventable for many people who are not smoking is to keep the healthy weight, which is difficult for a lot of people to do.
Easier said than done. That's true.
But I'll tell you why. The main reason is because of the processed food and the way we eat.
Right.
Because we do not spend the time and the effort to cook these days. You are going out, because you got caught in the jam, and therefore, when you come back, you are too tired to cook. So on the way, you will buy something. Someone else have cooked. What they have put inside, you do not know.
Correct.
And there are a lot of processed food nowadays. Even if you go to a restaurant, of course I can't name names, but if you go to a restaurant, a lot of the food is pre-cooked.
Pre-cooked. Yeah.
And they've kept it for days. For example, if you go and have a curry chicken, for goodness sake, don't expect them to cook from scratch for your curry chicken. It will not happen. They have already cooked it for days. And then maybe they can't sell finish, they just add a new batch on top. And that means it has more salt, a lot of things to preserve it.
Yeah.
And therefore, when you go and buy something that is so complicated to cook, please do not imagine that they are cooking for you now. And Malaysians are so impatient when they're waiting for their food. If they had to wait more than half an hour, they are like looking at their watch and saying, we're not coming back to this place anymore. You're taking so much of our time. Blah, blah, blah. But
it's actually better because they're preparing
from scratch.
Right.
But people who give you the food within 10 minutes,
you know it's not.
You know it's just heated food.
Wow. That's interesting.
And if you're walking in the mall and you go to a stall who is in the center of the mall between two rows of shops, and there's no kitchen but only a microwave, use your eyes and see everything that they serve is from the microwave.
Correct. Well, wow. That's a lot of things to chew on, Dr. Pang. But we are so happy for this knowledge because I'm sure many of our viewers and listeners cannot even imagine that, you can actually do genetic testing to go a higher level for prevention. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for those nuggets of information that it's so helpful for us, for me personally. Okay, thank you very much. And to all our viewers and listeners, we thank you and hope to see you for next episode, which is a testimony of someone who recovered from cancer. So I hope you watch that. Thank you and bye.